can't believe we did it.
Megan and I were just trying out some new configurations for the lives, and there's a lot to learn, right?
A whole lot to learn. Wow, though, that was actually kind of fun, and here we are.
Okay. Well, so we're back with another one of our podcasts, a live video. It's going to be on our TikTok and our Instagram, and we've got some great topics that we think students will find interesting and are going to be helpful as well as students around the world plan what they're going to do for their education. We want to help you have the best information to make the best choices about what you're going to do for your education to learn English and get into college. That's what we want to help you with.
So I was talking with some of our students and I said, what was the biggest reason that you came to the USA? And they said, well, there's a lot of famous places. And I said, like what? And they said, well, there's California and Florida. Of course, we have New York City, but if you like good weather, there's what are some benefits of both places and why we think that. Sorry, no, Florida. Florida sucks. I've been in California for years. I've been to Florida a lot.
In fact, that brings up the vocabulary that we want to teach today. We always like to start our podcasts and our videos with some vocabulary. And Megan said sucks. It's this term we use in English when something is no good. Okay, no good. For example, we could say that the weather in Alaska sucks. Okay? So, or that, the day after Christmas sucks.
Oh,
right?
Not if you're in Canada. They
Really?
celebrate Boxing Day.
Okay.
A lot of places have Boxing Day. So you know what? I disagree with that one.
So when something sucks, it's funny because a lot of times people think it's an adjective like bad or cold or stupid, but in fact it's a verb. And so we say it sucks, just like it rains, it snows, it takes too long. We say it sucks. And it's often in third person singular. So you're going to put the S on the end of it. You're going to say, this weather today, it's rainy and snowy, it sucks. Or this homework assignment sucks, okay? Yeah. So you're going to hear a lot of native speakers of English using this phrase, especially in the USA. We use it a lot. We use this verb structure whenever we say that something is just no good. So Megan accidentally said California sucks.
I was wrong. California does not suck.
Yeah.
California's the best.
We're going to say that Florida sucks, okay?
And here's why.
Yeah, there are some good things about Florida, but we're going to talk about the differences between California and Florida today, and of course explain to you why we believe that California is way better than Florida, especially if you're going to choose an education destination. So, Megan, why don't you start it off again? The first thing we're going to say.
Oh gosh, the weather. The weather. So, first, have you spent a lot of time in Florida?
Just a little.
I've been to Florida a lot. My family lives in Florida. I'm not from there, but my parents live there. I go to Florida every year.
Oh.
And so I spend holidays in Florida. I actually really like Florida, but the weather is pretty, how do I say this nicely? It rains a lot. It is very hot. There's high humidity, especially in the summer. And so if you are outside, you're going to be sweating a lot, feel really gross. Maybe take 2 or 3 showers a day.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I prefer the weather in California because it's a dry heat. It's always nice weather, always sunny and beautiful, but we don't have high humidity. So we don't really need... You don't need to be sweating all the time, even when you're walking around or exercising outside. Yeah,
I noticed that, when you watch a lot of movies about Florida, or you watch videos of Florida, people are sweating all the time in Florida. In their videos, their foreheads are shiny, and they're just sweating all the time. And in California, it does get nice and warm here for sure, but it's not that humidity that they have over in Florida that makes a hot day seem extremely hot over there. That humidity makes it even worse. In California, we've got pretty nice temperatures. In the summertime here in San Diego, it's often about 28 degrees Celsius. In the winter, it gets down into the teens of Celsius. Or in Florida. But in California, we have very few mosquitoes. It's not a major problem here. We don't have bugs in California like they have in Florida.
There's also a very important thing here. Florida gets more rain and more lightning, like the cracks of lightning,
the thunderstorms,
than anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah.
And so Florida gets rain all the time, a lot of humidity, bugs everywhere, mosquitoes, and it's just unpleasant to be in. So that's why I think California has better weather.
We definitely think that the weather in California is excellent, and the weather in Florida sucks.
So no. All right, now let's talk about the next important thing, because let's say you come to the United States, you've chosen a place to live. What do you do when you're there? So
Yeah.
let's talk about things that are fun to do in California
Yeah.
and things that are fun to do in Florida.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about the fun things in Florida?
Okay.
What do you like about Florida?
Well, they do have good restaurants, good food.
Great.
Cool Latin culture there, right? A lot of Cuban, Puerto Rican culture in Florida. So there's some credit for that. We'll give them some credit in Florida for doing a few things well. But I really think that California has them beat. California is better. We have so many things to do here, especially for me, it's the nature stuff. Okay, I'm going to keep it brief. I love my hobbies. I love hiking, so I love the mountains of California.
Yeah.
But a lot of people choose Southern California because they love the beaches. So we've got hundreds and hundreds of miles of beaches here in Southern California, from basically San Diego all the way up past LA to the north and into Santa Barbara. And then you got the Central Coast. So there's more than enough beach in California for everybody.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I also want to say that California we have a lot of major cities.
Yeah.
Right? And so people love Florida because you can go to Disney World. Well, we have Disneyland here in California. It's bigger. It was the original Disney, and it's only about 1 hour away from Connect English in Anaheim, California. We're in San Diego, but we have major cities all over California. So if you want to drive, where can we drive to from San Diego?
Yeah, easy. If you're going to study for a year in the USA, you might want to go to Las Vegas about 2 times with your friends. Maybe for a show at the Sphere or a concert somewhere.
Yep.
Or there's a lot to do in Las Vegas, and it's pretty easy to drive to and get back to in a weekend.
Yeah.
But then you've also got San Francisco north of here. You've got Santa Barbara. There's a lot of great cities to go to. Megan was mentioning Disney World. It's in Orlando. Well, I've got friends from Orlando. You know what they call it? They call it Borlando because it's boring. Disney World is, of course, a really great place, but the city of Orlando, people say, is just...
I have really good friends in Orlando, and they say the same thing. Sure,
Orlando.
again, you can get good shopping anywhere. You can have really good food anywhere, right? But like, if you're done with pizza and movie theaters and the shopping malls, and you want to visit a different place, Miami is really the only big city in Florida
that anybody wants
outside
to
of
visit,
Orlando.
at least, right? You can name some other cities, like Tallahassee. Nobody goes there.
Jacksonville?
There's a college there, whatever, but nobody really wants to go there as a tourist.
Or, okay, so the funniest thing, the reason my parents live in Florida, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I love you so much, is because they're old. Florida is where people go to retire. After they stop working, they move down to Florida. So you know what Florida has a lot of? It has a lot of really expensive places to live, expensive restaurants, and very expensive like American places like a steakhouse, which sounds good, but it's just for old retired people. I love old retired people. My grandparents are in Florida, my parents are in Florida, my aunts and uncles, everyone in my family went to Florida for retirement.
Yeah.
And it's boring. My favorite thing to do when I go to Florida is that me and my grandma will go buy yarn. We'll go yarn shopping because we love to knit.
Yeah.
That's the most exciting thing to do in the city where they live.
Yeah.
And so but in California,
it's all ages, all kinds of people.
Yeah.
So I really think that California, if you want to get out and explore and enjoy, California has so many great aspects, right? The weather is really nice. The sites to visit are really wonderful. The cities, the nature, right? I go to the mountains a few times a month. I go hiking all the time. You can also just spend the day at the beaches as well. So you get the beach in both states. But
okay, one of the cool things that people don't know about California as well is that we have a really long history in the United States. So we have these historical places.
Yeah.
You can see sort of this old West cowboy places. Places like Julian, California are only an hour away, and you can get like a little slice of Americana. And so this is like a little piece of American culture and American history. And so I've actually not been to a lot of those historical places. But even in San Diego, we have these historical places to go and learn about the history. And that's really cool because in Florida, of course, you've got these old cities too, but it's not the same. We have like this old West kind of cowboy, gold rush. Like California is California, man. Like,
it's got a lot of personality.
That's a good way to say it.
So and then additionally, what I think is really important about why to choose California over Florida is people's attitudes. Okay.
What do you mean by their attitudes?
Yeah,
Right?
it's kind of like the way they feel about their day, the way they feel about life, but the way they treat other people too. California is famous for being a place where we have positive attitudes toward guests, toward visitors, toward international students especially. This is a place where when you're walking around your apartment building or when you're walking down the street, everybody you see is going to say hi to you. People here just say hi to everybody.
It's true.
And it's easy to start conversations here. People in California are really curious. If you say, actually, I'm here visiting and I'm from Algeria, people will say, well, really? Tell me about Algeria.
Yeah.
And they're going to be curious and have questions and want to know. They may not know a lot about your country yet, but they're always wanting to ask about where you're from. How long are you here? So people in California are famous for having that positive, open attitude.
Yeah, they're
Florida,
really friendly too.
Yeah, Florida, it's a little different over there. Let's just be nice to Florida and say it's different over there. People's attitudes are not the same. They're not as open-minded, I would say, as California is. Here in California, we accept people of really all different kinds of lifestyles, all nationalities. Attitudes are all welcome here in California. So San Diego especially, students often say they're surprised when they arrive here because people are so friendly and ready to start conversations here. So it's really nice for international students in California, of course, because obviously you want to become confident talking with native speakers. Well, in California and San Diego especially, you're going to be able to have more conversations with regular people who you encounter every day here. So the attitudes in California are different from in Florida. I'm just going to be nice and say different, and ours are very good.
So one thing I want to add about the attitudes, I think it's because California has a very diverse culture, right?
Yeah.
Especially here in San Diego. You can't have San Diego without our Latino neighbors in Tijuana, Mexico, right? We are really close to Mexico. That means that we have a community of Latinos, but we also have these different neighborhoods in San Diego. Like we have a place for a lot of Asian markets, Asian restaurants.
Yeah, your Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean food.
For sure.
Yeah, some
and
delicious
so we
food up there.
have like a neighborhood for this. We have a neighborhood where we have a lot of Muslim people, specifically from like Somalia, from Africa, from East Africa. We have another community of North Africa and the Middle East. We've got a great bunch of universities, which always brings diverse people coming from Latin America, from Brazil, from Europe. And so we have these different communities in San Diego. And that means that we have a place for everybody, right? You can come from any country and you will find a grocery store that has things that you want. You can find medicine and food from your country, right? You can find restaurants. And if you go to Florida, you might find some Latin culture, right? From the Caribbean, from Cuba, Puerto Rico, but they don't have the same diversity that California has. And so when you have the positive attitude, the friendly, welcoming atmosphere, when you can come to California and everybody wants you to be here, it also means that we have places for you.
Yeah.
You've got community, you've got grocery stores and restaurants and shopping centers, and you can find the things from your home country here in San Diego.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part.
I've got two things I want to add to that, right? That is also represented here at Connect English, right?
Oh,
to
so
advertise about our school, of course, I want to tell you about our school here. But we have such a great, we usually have between, and they're quite different cultures, but they've become great friends. And so really that comes back to the idea of that San Diego and Los Angeles, California is full of people who have moved here from other places.
Yeah.
Even from on the other side of the USA. A lot of folks move out to California. She's from Michigan. I'm from the north part of California. I moved down here 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So we call them transplants. These are people who have moved on down and started their life in Southern California. And that's a good part of the reason why people's attitudes are so open around here toward people from other places. They're going to welcome people in and say, I remember when I moved to California 15 years ago. And everybody remembers how it was when they first arrived in California to start their fresh new page of their, this new chapter of their life. So it contributes a lot to California being a very welcoming place. And that's why, of course, we think it's better than Florida. Don't you think?
I think it's way better than Florida. And to use our new vocabulary word, what do we say? Florida sucks. California rocks.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching today, everybody.
Thanks,
of course,
guys.
like and subscribe. We're going to put up more and more of these podcasts talking about what's great about California, how to help you set up your education plan.
Yeah.
We're always going to include great vocabulary. And, of course, we're always happy to answer your questions by messenger. Any messaging you want to send to us on WhatsApp, we're on email, obviously. We're everywhere. Send us messages. We've got people who speak Portuguese, Spanish, Arabic. We've got some French speakers. We've got lots of languages. And, of course, you can use Translate just
This is like our own little California
surfer thing, yeah.
And it means hello, it means goodbye, it means you're cool, it means I'm cool. So Cheers, guys.
Thanks for watching.
See you
Have a good
soon.
day. You hang out. I'll turn them off.
Yeah, I love it. Bye, guys. See you soon. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Dude, it makes me want to visit like Anaheim and LA and like go to all these cool places.
Yeah, exactly.